China and United States commercial war. What is currently happening between these countries? The start of the current China and USA trade war dates back to the March to the year 2018, when the US President Donald Trump showed his intention to place 50 billion in tariffs and taxes on Chinese border products, noting that were a number of unfair trade practices and also the theft of intellectual property from Central American multinationals. 2 months later, China turned to the World Trade Organization to initiate legal actions against the USA decision. Why? China's industrial objective is to recover lost ground in sector of the economy it considers crucial to the future of the technology around the world. The first one is advanced areas of aviation or ship and microprocessing manufacturing, and in other fields such as electric vehicles and batteries. It wants to establish a dominant position. China expects to do so by the year 2025. That will also mean that China will not have to rely on the United States in the future and will also be able to surpass in areas such as science and technology, that are the areas in which is most losing ground and where the Chinese economy is growing faster. There are two sectors in particular where both the United States and China country want to be the world leaders. The first one is artificial intelligence with machine learning, and the second place is technology with the fifth generation. But who will win the game in of each of them? Geopolitical power struggles, protection in policies, and national security concerns are driving the race towards fifth generation networks. Since there is a risk that Trump's policies will backfire and end up benefiting China. China has the ambition not to want to copy what the others do, but to be an innovative and self-sufficient country, which is why it defends and guards its maritime borders, because they know perfectly well that they are a country whose economy depends almost for much on exports and that little of what they produce remains for domestic consumption. The more prohibitions and traffics are imposed on you, the greater your motivation to be doing very difficult things that require a lot of time to perfect, such as chips for fifth generation networks. So, currently the most important points that are disputed in this dispute are: in the first place, the dispute between the two countries transcends to the commercial plane, as evidenced by the fact that China's Huawei technology is in the eye of the hurricane, as Washington considers it a danger to its national security because of suspicions of its links to the intelligence of the Asian country, although the company ensures that they are unfounded. Coupled with this, the fact that Trump wants to ban the TikTok app that has nearly to 800 million users around the world if it does not change owners and business to be a Chinese subsidiary, which he says is used to spy his citizens. In the second place, despite the conclusion of the COVID-19 pandemic last January, the first phase of an agreement to resolve his conflict was signed. The impact of the coronavirus has made it difficult for China to meet its commitments. So Trump recently said that it was no longer thinking of a possible second phase, and this is because if in January it seemed that the first phase of the agreement was the light at the end of the tunnel for the problems between Beijing and Washington. But the management of the COVID-19 in USA has been responsible for allowing all our hopes. In the third place, military conflict. Although China and the United States have not entered any direct military conflict and don't appear to be going to occur in the short term, but Beijing's maritime claims over the South China Sea have provoked a negative response from Washington, which is unwilling to cede strategic control of the region. In the fourth position, Washington already openly acknowledged that its goal is to induce change in China by considering that it feels the world can't be considered safe. For example, the human rights violation in Xinjiang and the free cutting in Hong Kong, issues on which both powers have also clashed. All of the above reflects the condition of a trade war and crucial move by United States to remain the only world power, as it has been saved to the end of the World War II, and given that President Trump especially refused to share that title with the Asian giant, and to accept the conditions of change that the world is currently experiencing and how technology has changed the way that we live. Where all this is going to end up, it all depends on what happens in the next election for President of the United States that is almost near. And global consumers without wanting will really suffer this war of titans. Thank you.